All right, let's talk about it. It's one of the biggest, maybe even the most fun decisions you can make for your home entertainment setup. Do you get a huge, super bright TV, or do you go all in for that truly cinematic movie theater at home experience with a projector? This is the classic showdown, and today we're going to settle it.
And this isn't just about picking the tech with the best specs. Choosing between a TV and a projector is really a lifestyle choice. It's going to define how you watch movies, how you play games, how you just hang out in your own space. So the real question isn't which is better, it's which one is right for you.
To figure that out, we've got to go back to the very basics. We need to understand how each of these things actually puts a picture in front of your eyes. And it all comes down to two completely different ways of thinking about light. So first up, you've got your TVs. The easiest way to think about a TV is like a self-contained box of light. Whether it's an LED model or a fancy OLED, the screen itself is creating the light and beaming it right at you. It's direct, it's punchy, and everything it needs is right there in one package.
Projectors, though, they play a totally different game. They use what we call reflected light. The projector itself is the light source, sure, but it shoots that light across the room onto a separate screen. What you're actually watching is the light bouncing off that screen. And that's the magic trick that lets them create these absolutely massive images that TVs just can't touch.
So that's the key takeaway right there. Direct light versus reflected light. It sounds super simple, right? But believe me, this one fundamental difference is the reason for everything else we're about to talk about. It affects brightness, it affects contrast, it even affects the feeling you get when you're watching.
Okay, so let's get to the main event, the picture quality showdown. We're going to put these two technologies head-to-head on the three big things that really matter for how good an image looks: brightness, contrast, and of course, HDR.
First up, let's talk brightness. This is all about answering one really simple question. How well does this thing work when the lights are on? Can you actually watch the game on a sunny afternoon, or do you have to basically turn your living room into a bat cave? And wow, the difference here is just night and day. Seriously, look at this. A good high-end TV can blast out over 2,000 nits of brightness. It's incredibly bright. A projector, though, once you spread that light out over a huge 100 or 120-inch screen, might only be giving you about 150 to 200 nits at your eyeballs. This gives TVs a huge advantage for daytime viewing, while a projector absolutely needs that dark room to really shine.
Okay, let's move on to round two, contrast. This is all about the ability to show the brightest brights right next to the deepest, darkest blacks. It's what gives an image that pop and makes it feel rich and three-dimensional.
And on this front, OLED TVs are the undisputed champs. It's not even close. Because every single tiny pixel makes its own light, it can just turn off completely. That gives you what's called infinite contrast, or just perfect black. Now don't get me wrong, high-end projectors can still look fantastic, especially in a properly blacked-out room, but they just can't physically match that absolute black of an OLED.
And here's why that actually matters. That perfect black means that when you're watching a sci-fi movie on an OLED, a star field isn't just a sort of dark gray with some white dots. No, it's a true, inky black void with these tiny, sharp pinpricks of light. It's an absolutely breathtaking effect.
And for our final round, let's talk HDR, high dynamic range. This is the tech that's all about making the image look more like real life. It expands the range of color and contrast, so bright highlights like, say, an explosion or the sun glinting off a car look incredibly bright and realistic, without crushing all the detail in the dark parts of the picture.
So because of that huge brightness advantage we just talked about, TVs can deliver a much more powerful, more authentic HDR experience. Projectors have to do this little trick called tone mapping, where they basically have to compress the brightest parts of the signal to fit what they're capable of. The result on a good projector is still way better than standard content for sure, but a bright TV gets you that much closer to what the movie director actually wanted you to see.
So you might be thinking, okay, TVs seem to win on most of the pure picture metrics, so why would anyone even buy a projector? Well, that brings us to what is maybe the biggest trade-off of them all, the absolutely epic, cinematic scale you get from a projector versus the unbeatable simplicity of a TV.
This is it. This is the projector's trump card. If there is one single reason to go through all the extra effort of a projector setup, it's for the sheer, jaw-dropping, immersive size of the image. Nothing else even comes close. I want this number to really sink in for a second. A 120-inch projector screen isn't just a little bigger than a pretty standard 65-inch TV, it has 3.5 times more screen area. That is the difference between watching a movie on a screen and feeling like you could just step right into it. It's pure immersion.
But, and this is a big but, here comes the TV's powerful counterpunch. For all that amazing scale, a projector requires planning. It requires work. A modern television, on the other hand, is the absolute definition of plug and play. I mean, setting up a TV is just beautifully simple, isn't it? You take it out of the box, you put it on a stand, you plug it in, and you turn it on. The speakers are built in, all the smart apps are ready to go. You can be watching Netflix in, 15 minutes? It just works. Now compare that to a projector. You've got to figure out the throw distance, mount the projector on the ceiling, properly install a screen, run long cables through your walls or ceiling, and then you have to figure out how to get your room as dark as possible. It's totally doable, but it's a project. That simplicity of a TV is a massive, massive advantage. So, with all of that on the table, how in the world do you make the final call? Well, let me give you a quick decision toolkit. All you have to do is ask yourself these 3 simple questions. First off, what are you mainly going to be doing with this thing? If your dream is to create a special event for dedicated movie nights, a projector is just incredible. But if you're looking for something for more casual, everyday channel surfing, watching the news, and gaming, a TV's convenience is really hard to beat. Next up, and honestly, this might be the most important question of all, can you control the light in your room? A projector absolutely demands darkness to look its best. If your room is a bright, open-plan living space with lots of windows, a TV is almost certainly the better choice for you. No question.
And finally, think about the total cost, not just the sticker price. A projector might seem cheaper than a gigantic 85-inch TV at first glance, but you've got to remember to add in the cost of a good screen, a ceiling mount, maybe some extra long cables. It all adds up. Ultimately, it all boils down to this one final thought. The choice isn't just about technology. It's about your intent. So ask yourself this. Are you just looking for a great screen to put in your living room? Or are you trying to build a dedicated cinema in your home? The answer to that question, well, it'll tell you everything you need to know.